Brought to you by...
The purpose of the scarecrow was devised to ward off birds from mutilating the crops of farmers. Over the years, it has stricken fear in more than just birds. Many people have come to find the crucified visage of worn clothes and straw to be utterly terrifying, which makes it a perfect figure to fear on Halloween. Hello friends, and welcome back to ETF. Coming from director Octavian Call, on Halloween night, two teenagers accidentally unleash a killer scarecrow when they trespass on its farmland. Taking official selection at a bunch of festivals and winning Best Short Film Director at the Bridge Horror Online Film Awards and the VHS Emerging Filmmaker Award at the Vancouver Horror Show, what we are presented in Attack of the Killer Scarecrow is a love letter to the season. The opening titles of this one immediately set the tone of Halloween by delivering some very John Carpenter-esque credits and a title that feels like it oozes straight out of a fucking Goosebumps episode. Attack of the Killer Scarecrow stands out as an exemplary piece of horror filmmaking within the short film format. Set on Halloween night, the narrative follows two teenagers who unwittingly unleash a killer scarecrow after trespassing on its haunted farmland. The film's production quality is notable, especially given its short runtime. Shot on location at an atmospheric, isolated farm, the setting is utilized to its full potential, enhancing the eerie and foreboding mood. Call's direction is meticulous, balancing the build-up of suspense with sudden, shocking moments of horror. The film's pacing is brisk yet effective, ensuring that each scene contributes meaningfully to its escalating tension. The production team has made the most of a presumably limited budget, creating a visually and aurally immersive experience. The performances here are commendable, particularly given the condensed format, which offers limited time for character development. The two leads deliver believable and engaging portrayals of typical teenagers caught in an extraordinary and terrifying situation. Their chemistry feels authentic, which grounds the supernatural elements of the story in a relatable, emotional reality. The scarecrow itself is a menacing presence that should never be trifled with. The physicality and movement of the character are key to its effectiveness, as if imbued with a sense of eerie life that makes it a genuinely unsettling antagonist. The practical effects in the film are a highlight, showcasing a dedication to tangible real-world horror that enhances the film's impact. The Scarecrow's design is a masterclass in horror aesthetic. Its tattered clothes, weathered mask, and sinister, almost human movement contributed to a deeply unsettling creature. The makeup and costume departments deserve particular praise for their work in bringing this character to life. Visually, the film employs a dark but autumn-based palette that is both aesthetically pleasing and thematically appropriate for a Halloween setting. The cinematography makes excellent use of shadows and lighting to create suspense and a sense of claustrophobia. Tight framing and sudden cuts are used effectively to keep the audience on edge, never allowing them to feel completely at ease. The use of the farm setting is particularly effective, with the desolate, open spaces paradoxically creating a sense of isolation and entrapment. The contrast between the quiet, seemingly benign rural environment and the violent horror that unfolds is striking, adding to the overall tension. Psychologically, the film keeps things fairly tame. exploring the concept of latent fears and the consequences of unchecked actions. The Scarecrow can be viewed as a manifestation of the subconscious guilt and fear of the teenagers, embodying their worst nightmare brought to life. Their initial act of trespassing symbolizes a transgression not just of property, but of natural and moral boundaries, triggering a retributive force. The film also taps into primal fears associated with rural folklore and the uncanny. The Scarecrow, an object meant to protect and ward off evil, becomes the very source of terror, subverting expectations and playing on deep-seated anxieties about the familiar turning hostile. This psychological undercurrent enhances the horror, making the Scarecrow's relentless pursuit feel like an inescapable punishment for the character's misdeeds. The one thing that this film was missing for me was sound design that better emphasized the presence of the Scarecrow. I personally would have used some crackling of straw, or some crunching sounds as it jankily moves throughout the field. I love the fact that the film is lit mostly by flashlights that our protagonists are carrying, allowing much of the scenery to fall into deep, crushing shadow, and keeping the position of the looming Scarecrow a complete mystery to us. The film's score is incredibly traditional, playing on the classic synth settings and tones that one would expect from an 80s slasher experience. The Scarecrow himself is designed as a janky and limp figure, which I felt was a very realistic representation. To me, he felt very much like a bumbling figure that is stuffed with straw. Personally, this one worked very well for me. It took well-rounded characters and thrust them into a classic "you shouldn't be here" situation, and crafted a pretty cool little narrative out of it. This is one I would definitely watch again. Attack of the Killer Scarecrow is highly enjoyable for what it is. It succeeds in delivering suspense, scares, and humor in equal measure, creating an engaging viewing experience from start to finish. With its atmospheric visuals, solid performances, and well-paced storyline, the film stands as a testament to the enduring appeal of the horror genre. Fans of horror and campy thrillers will find themselves at least somewhat entertained by this one. Well, friends, that's going to be all for now. Take my opinion for what it's worth, but please, formulate your own. I've provided a link down in the description on where you can check this one out. I highly recommend giving it a watch. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, subscribe for more content, and if you really want to support this channel, check us out on Patreon. Every little bit helps this channel grow, and helps us reach that dream of being able to make content like this for you full time. Until next time, stay safe, and as always, thanks for watching.